Hey everybody, it is Tuesday, the day after a Martin Luther King Day, and I was thinking, and I wanted to share a story that was actually shared in church on Sunday. I'm not going to proselytize at all, but I did want to share. I find teaching stories to be very powerful, regardless of which wisdom tradition they come from. This one in particular comes from Christianity, but hopefully I'll share some other stories that come from other wisdom traditions as well. But the story goes something like this, and it reflects back on my theme for the month, which is remember who you are. And so Jesus has just heard that his cousin, John the Baptist, has been beheaded for saying some things about the ruler at the time and his unethical and immoral marriage to his sister. And so Jesus hears that his cousin has been beheaded and wants to take some time by himself. And so he heads out onto the lake on a boat by himself. The crowds who have gotten used to Jesus healing them and preaching to them and teaching them get wind of this, and so they follow Jesus on the sides of the lake. And so when he gets to the other side, they're all there waiting for him. So instead of having the solitude that he is wanting, excuse me one second, instead of having the solitude that he's seeking and the time to reflect on his own, he's met by these throngs of people. Now he's not perturbed by this, he's not annoyed by this, because he recognizes that what he does, his job and his gifts are to heal and to counsel the people that need him. And so instead of launching into a tirade about leave me alone and go away and not today, he continues to do what he does. And he heals and he teaches them. Well, the crowd stays for into the evening, and there's thousands of them. And the disciples come to him later in the evening and they say, Jesus, you need to send these people home. And as the pastor on Sunday said, probably in the back of their mind what they were thinking is, we're hungry and we only have enough food for the few of us, and so we don't want to be rude and eat in front of them, but you need to send them home. They need something to eat and we're unable to provide that for them. And Jesus says something very interesting. He says, no, you feed them, give them what you have. And so the disciples look at each other like, well, I don't know. I mean, what do you got? And they start putting things together, and they come up with, a biblical happy meal with a few loaves of bread and a couple fish. And they said, Jesus, this is all we've got. And I suspect that at that time they wanted him to say, oh, well, in that case, you're right, send them home. But Jesus does something really interesting. Instead, he takes the gifts from the disciples and he blesses them, and then he gives them back to the disciples. At this point, no miracle has happened. He's just given they gave what they had to Jesus. Jesus blessed it and then gave it back. And he said, now go feed the people. Here's where the miracle happens. They trust that he knows what he's talking about, and they trust him enough to do what they can, which is turn and give what they have to the people there. And it turns out that as they give, it's replenished, so they're able to feed everyone that's there. Now, here's the interesting point. Remember who you are. You are part of the divine. You were created from God and have gifts to offer the world. Don't question whether or not those gifts are of value. They already are. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been given them. Just trust that you have the gifts to feed a hungry world and do what you can do. Leave the rest to God. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you continue to give your gifts to the world. Looking forward to hearing your comments. Talk to you soon.